Okie dokie. Beans. Ah, I am starting really late today. That is okay. Had a slow start to the morning, but my big plan for today is I just want to finish these two owl bears. So I'm gonna just start with the big guy and kind of go through and stitch him all the way, and then I'm gonna come back and do the little guy after that. Where's my needle and thread? Um, Not in there. Okie dokie. Maybe I don't know where I put my shit. I will pause that while I look for my shit. There we go. Okay. Hello, Panda. Let's pull out all my stuffing. I'm gonna move these guys out of the way because I'm not gonna do him. Wow, he lost his arm. I'm not gonna do him until after I do the big owl bear. This guy still needs his nose. I did not actually make his little beak nose, so that will be. I have to make that before I finish sewing him up. But that just gets hand sewn on at the end, so it's not a huge thing. He needs to get stuffed though. So I'm pulling out my stuffings. I probably don't need my sharp tool for any of this. Okay. Ooh, before I stuff these, I need to get my lines. Right. That's why I was looking for my needle and thread. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do with his little hands are I want to try the thread sculpting on these ones because I do think it'll look good on the larger ones. But I need to mark those three little dots on the front of the fabric, and I don't want to have to draw it with a marker. So what I'm going to do, grab some incredibly bright colored thread. I'm going to just make a little loop of thread. Work. Just gonna make a little loop of thread right at that dot there. That way when I flip it right side out, don't do that. There is a little tiny green dot there. Tiny thread bit there. Maybe visible. Kind of lost underneath all the fuzz. But anyways, there's a little bit green there. So that I'll be able to figure out where those dots are and use them to line up the next stitches. No, don't go anywhere fluffing. Oh my god, that thread. Smarter than I was. Okay. And okay, There we go. I've got my 3 little bits there. There's my pink pin. Okay. Now I can flip this right side out, and I'll be able to see where those little toes are gonna go. Theoretically, where'd you go? Guys, there's one. I make that second one so small I can't even find it. Come on. To be able to find all of you guys. Oh, I just made very small stitches apparently. Okay, let's do that one more time. I might just loop them double around. Ah, nope, that's me. I want these guys. I'm gonna make a little X shape. See if that will. I'm off to a very slow start. Now just work for real this time, okay? Cool beans. Yeah, it's still a start. Just changed my music. It was not me. At least I am doing something today. And I think I should be able to finish both of these owl bears today, which is really what my goal is. So if I do that, then I'm good. Okay, let's see if I can see these X's. Very slightly better. Okay. Okay, so that's where my toes are gonna go. Now I have to just stuff the leg. Ah! I was meaning to get up real early today and start work on these guys so that I could do something after them today as well. But I also went to D&D with friends yesterday, and I didn't get back home until like 1 a.m. So I ended up taking a nap this morning instead. I got up, started my computer, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna be so good, so useful. Made myself breakfast, and then while I was waiting for everything to heat up, I just kind of fell back asleep. So whoops. Okay. It's a little lumpy. I think I need a little bit more in there just to keep it nice and smooth. I also spent a lot of yesterday driving around and visiting every little local quilt store I could within like a 45-minute drive of where I live. Because if I'm going to be losing Joann's as a source of my embroidery thread, I had to find a new one. And there's like two stores out of like seven that actually have embroidery thread. So that's distressing. I felt like quilters and everything would have like a more vested interest in like embroidery type stuff as well, of like all the crafts that you could do. If you're sewing, you're going to be doing embroidering as well, but apparently not. Okay, these three little guys. I have a nice huge stockpile of embroidery thread right now. The problem is, like when I was making this guy's little toes, when I was making his toe beans, I used a different color first and made these paw pads, and then ran out like at paw pad 2.5. So it's like, oh, I don't have that same color. So I went to Joann's to see if I could find that color again. And I think it's been discontinued because the same color number, like they had thread in the same spot in the same color number, and it's like peachy pink now instead of this like, I don't know what this would be, like a very very dull light brown toe bean color. So like they didn't have that. So then I was trying to find a color that was similar to it from other places, and nobody has that color at all. So I had to just get a different one, and I went with a very dull pink color instead. So I did go to Joann's, and wait, let me go run out and grab my thread pile that I got yesterday. Did I put So I grabbed this many threads from Joann's yesterday. So I have quite a few different new colors. I think this was like 30 some spools. But the problem is like if I run out of it, I need to be able to replace it. So I need to have a source of like the same colors again. Like, because if I run out of this one halfway through a project and I don't have anybody selling this color, I have to like restart like I did with the pause. Um, so having people who just consistently sell the same color threads is usually better than just having access to a bunch of colors. I just need like the same colors consistently. and the little local store that's only like, I think it's 10, 15 minutes from me, they have like 4 spools of thread, and they were just like all pinks and blues. And they did not have any like of the other colors. So it was like, great, that's not helpful to me. I cannot make everything in pink and blue. Oh, I'm pretty good on threads now. Actually, I'm pretty good on fabrics as well. I can't fit them all in my storage closet anymore. They are full. Um, I think I'm probably good with what you guys have gotten me and what I've gotten myself. Um, yeah, it was more just like I need somebody who's going to be able to replace thread as I run out of it in the same colors. And it was like, ah, shit. I didn't remember how important Joann's was for me buying thread because it was just like, oh yeah, they always have thread there. It's not something you have to worry about. So I was like really focused on getting all of the fabrics. And then like midway through the pause, I ran out and it was like, oh shit, yeah, that's a thing. Hello, Pick. Yes, Mama Owlbear is big and mostly done. I'm doing a lot of the hand sewing today. My goal is to finish her and then do the little white one as well. And then I don't know what else because I'm working. I'm just starting my day now, so whoops, I'm a little bit behind. I made a list somewhere of all the plushies I want to make before the convention that I'm going to, and I now have like a week and a day for it, which I still think I'm on track to making things, but I will probably be making things over the weekend as well at this point. It's the beans. She's got beans. They're very lightly pink beans because I couldn't find that same light brown that I was looking for thread wise. So I found one that was okay. It's just a very pale pink color. I don't know how well that comes through on the camera, but it is very pale pink. So yeah, my goal today, finish both the bears and also timing myself on them so that I can price these two guys out. Um, I have quite a few cubes that are made. I put together my display stand for the table and I have filled an entire cube. I've got those like 12 by 12 cubes that you just put together with the little round connectors in the corners. Don't fall. And so that's like what my display is made of. That's what most people make their displays out of at conventions. And so I have enough cubes to completely pack one of those cubes. I have enough cubes to pack a cube. So I should be good on them. But I do need to sew them together, like finalize the stitching, like close the stuffing holes on them. That's just like boring busy work. That convention will be Sunday, not this coming Sunday, a week from Sunday. I would like to have all my stuff done before then though, but this is like crunch time, con crunch. Apex Predator from Repo would make a marketable. I don't think I have ever seen that. I don't even know what Repo is. I only know Repo as the genetic opera. I know what Lethal Company is. Yes. I think I've watched Alt play that one more than anybody else. I don't think I've actually seen anybody. No, no, I watched Brush for Hire playing Lethal Company. I've watched two people play that one. Like that, but with goofy. Oh, is it the ones that they look like they're made out of like Duplo shapes or whatever? They're very shapely and you can like get really squatty down low of the ground and just hide under things. Okay, I watched Alt play that once. I did not know that's what it was called. And I was mostly listening, so I didn't see a lot of the graphics. But okay, that game has a duck. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that then. There we go. We've got the pobs. I actually need to put more stuffing in this one. I did not stuff this one as much as the other one, apparently. That feels better. Okay. There's my little feet. Now I have to put the beans or the toe bits onto the beans. So I'm going to need brown thread for that. I'm going to just do brown because it kind of matches the color there. Needle. Yes, send me the wiki. Thank you. Okay. Ugh. Okay, this is called thread sculpting, where essentially you take the chunky bit and then you just kind of pull it together with thread. It makes things look nicer. You can basically shape the fabric without having to cut it at all. I need, where's my pokey stick? Pokey stick. Okay, because those little green lines that I put in there, now that I've got the needle going through, I no longer need that there, so I'm just going to pull out that thread. So there's no longer any green on its foot. And I'm going to leave myself some tails because I'm going to have to tie these together at the end. And then I just go back in. And I'm going to go out at the second point. Just pull that a little bit tighter. Now there for a second, use my pokey stick to pull out the green thread. I'm going to come over to the third X. Go. Or my needle right there. And pokey stick to pull out that green X. There you go. So now I've got my toe beans. And if I come back over beginning, boop. Now I have to kind of just give them all a little squinch. Squinch better, please. Squinch, squinch, squinch. Fred, you are terrible at squinching right now. Sorry. There we go. So now we just have like this tiny little indication of toes on the little guy. So it just kind of pulls in around the toes there. Tiny little toe bits. And then I'm going to bury the thread inside. And I've actually got the 4 ends of it right now. So I'm going to push these Rid of the little frayed ends. Discord link doesn't work? Well, that sucks. Okay. Cool. I will fix that. Huh. I got 3 of the 4 threads through at once. Gonna do that last one there. Okay, there we go. One toes. I'm gonna pause that for a second, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out the Discord thing right now, because otherwise I will forget. Discord open. Right. Hmm. Okay. Perhaps it has been fixed. Oh, hey, I have 100 followers. Neat. Yay. Woo. Okay. The next beans. Drop the thread. Cool. Oh, I am having an off day. Okay. One toe bean. I could pull that green thread out. Onto the next one. Oh, where's the other X? Wow. I'm really good at making tiny invisible stitches. Holy shit. Not great when I want to be able to see them though. There we go. I can pull that one out. Then Okay, green bits removed. I'll have some thread sculpting to do on the face as well. That's what gives it the like the pinched in eye look to give that ridge that owls have in between their eyes. That little feather ridge. There's just like thread sculpting that pulls the two eyes together and then pulls them both down towards the back of the neck. And you can actually see on this one, he's got like this little belly button type thing. Like right in the edge there, he's got like this little belly button, which is where the thread actually pulls from one side of his eyes to the other. Go. I'll do this same thing on his feet, but I have to actually go into his feet and flip him as a. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't turn you back on. Okay. Well, we're going to turn you back on then. Gotta keep track of how much time you take. Without bright lights. I get the lights off. Maybe? Kind of? Okay. Now you're visible on the camera. Oops. Oh, I'm so bad at tying knots. There you go. Actually, do that. Wait, even. Okay, there we go. The left toe was slightly bigger than the right toe because it just pulled unevenly. Yeah, you're supposed to nip the threads. Ah, oh, I'm just having a very off day. God damn it. Neil, you don't need a knot. What are you doing? Uncool. Ah. Oh my god. Okay. Two last little dudes to push through. Ow. Okay. Ah! Very cool. These guys are both good. I didn't have like a defined place for these to go on the arms. I just kind of stuck them on after the arms were on the bodies. It was a little bit harder to sew that way. So I think I'm going to just kind of line them up because they ended up being just a slight bit above the paw pad anyways. So I think I'm going to just line them up on the edge, like right on the edge of the paw pad. Oh, but these ones are larger. Urgh. Mm. Okay, no, I'm gonna have to do these once they're on the body just so I can make sure that they actually sit nicely. Eh, okay. They do need a little bit of stuffing in them. Fred, you go elsewhere. These don't get fully stuffed, they just get a little bit of stuffing, just enough to keep the shape. Give it a little bit of a 3D puff rather than being flat. But that's all they're gonna get. Puff. Okay. Those pieces are all good. Tail is gonna be the same. It's gonna get just a little bit of stuffing in it. Just enough to give it that 3D shape. A little bit more over on this side. This will get sewn on once the whole body is stuffed as well. There we go. There's like nothing in the tip of that feather. Oops. Push some up there real quick. Probably won't stay there, but it'll look good. There we go. The neck ruff gets the same amount. Little bits to give it some shape. Okay. I really like the way that ruff turned out. That looks nice. That's probably pretty. I might need a little bit more for the ear. Never mind. I was gonna say that's probably a pretty good piece for each ear, but no, I might need a little bit of extra. Yeah. Okay. That was enough for like 1.5 ears. That's okay. I've got more stuffing. Although probably after these two owl bears, I'm going to have to open my next 20-pound box of stuffing because I am right down to the end of this stuff. Okay. For the head. Starting with some pretty big pieces just because it hasn't been clumped up yet and I can just kind of push it in there. I like that piece. That's probably about half of what the head is going to end up needing. Okay. Then once I've got all the stuffing in there, I kind of push it all to the outsides, and now I'm gonna just kinda shove more stuffing into the very center of it. That way I can kind of get it all bunched up and, like, lots of stuffing in there without the edges of the plushie being lumpy. So the stuff that you're gonna feel is still nice and soft. This is just gonna get shoved in there and lumpy. There we go. That looks like an owl face, doesn't it? Absolutely every owl I've ever seen looks exactly like this. I'm gonna put the beak on before I do the thread sculpting for him, just because it'll be easier to sew, which means I need to make the beak before I can actually fix his face and make it look more owly and less traumatized creature there. Feet's inside out because I do need my dots. And I'm gonna put those little X in there. The eyes stare into your soul just like a real owl. It's true. Who? So my character in D&D right now is an owlin. So I get to make owl puns and say who all the time. And last night I was in cahoots. It was great. I'm a very super serious player. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6. Okay, so I can do all. I got 7 pieces. Okay, I can do all of the toes all at once. Owls always look a little traumatized. Yes, they do. They look scandalized. You've always slightly said something to hurt their feelings. I love them. They're such great birds. Eh. I don't actually think I need one for the center. I just need 2 per foot because the center one is just that tip right there. So maybe just 4 threads. That'll be good. I will regret it as soon as I flip the feet, but it'll be fine. Great. Oh my god. Brad. I also got to drop off the gelatinous cube that I made for one of the players' young kid because he drew me an owl bear. And so I did a trade with him, an owl bear for a gelatinous cube. So I really hope he likes that because I love my owl bear. It is fantastic art. I put it up on the wall. Okay. Go. One more toe. I've been like progressively making these little X's bigger as I go to hopefully make sure that I can see them from the front. Okay. Put the pobs. Okay. There we go. I need more stuffing. You go over here. Just chill out with your very flat brother. You're good. So I was kind of was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. I was kind of trying to predict how long this would take me to do all the hand sewing, and I estimated that it would probably be about 2 hours of hand sewing. I'm at 42 minutes, and I'm mostly done with the stuffings. So it's probably going to be close to the 2 hours of hand sewing. Ah, that little leg turned out really nice. I love the shape of that. Yay. Can't really see the leg bit here because it's smaller. So it just kind of looks like it goes down at a straight angle. But there is actually a curve to where that knee is. Ah, I love it that you can see it on Mom Bear. Total time, no, total time for the hand sewing is going to be about 2 hours. Let me pull up price calculator. Big Owlbear S. Uh, I am already at 270 minutes work time. So that's 4.5 hours. So it'll be like 6.5 hours uh for this entire bear. Yeah, so I figured out it uses a little over a yard and an eighth of Minky. It's 1,331 square inches. I was a little bit sad that it wasn't 1,337, but it's fine. Maybe it will be when I put in the beak. I'll just use extra extra fabric to make sure that the beak gets me a 1337. I don't know the weight of it yet, so I can't say how much polyfill I'm going to be using. But the work time is already 4.5 hours. I'm guessing another 2, so it'll probably be about 6.5 hours. Yeah, this is today only. I turn it off and restart it because the berry would die if it was left overnight. Yeah, so this is just work time today. And then I'll add it all together in my Google Sheet. I can't do like just solid timer start to finish because usually when I'm making things, I move from one project to the next before each one is finished. So I have to kind of just keep a running total in my spreadsheet instead of trying to keep that timer going for the entire project because my brain doesn't work that way. Okay, and just like I did the head, I'm squishing all my soft stuffing up to the edges, and then I'm going to shove some packed stuffing right into the center to kind of give it a nice strong core with soft sides. That looks good. It does need a little bit here more around the neck. I'm going to have to sew the head on and then kind of finish stuffing that right before I close it up because otherwise the stuffing will just puff out. I can only put so much into the neck holes before they are actually no longer, the stuffing does not want to stay in. So that's probably good for now. I'm going to take that stuffing away just so it's not in my way. I should sew the beak on first. Okay, so this guy needs to just kind of sit over here. Can I put your head right here? Will you look good like that? And let me pin you together just so you look decent. There we go. Bloop. Which ear goes where? This one goes here. There we go. There's the owl bear. Very cool. I need to figure out what color I'm going to use for the beak. I might do a very dark, like black beak. Because this little guy gave me yellow beak because I thought that was really cute. I gave this one the palest of yellow beaks just because I didn't want it to stand. I didn't want to do like a black or a gray on this guy. I wanted just a pop of color. But I picked the palest yellow. I think this guy is going to get a black beak. Or if I have like darkest of dark browns. But I think I use the darkest dark brown for body. Yeah, I might just go straight up to black. Yeah, I'm going to do a little black beak, I think. Well, let me pull out my dark. Where did I put my dark? Huh. Round? Where the fuck did I put you? Where are you going? How did I lose fabric? What the hell? Oh, it was a remnant. Okay, because I used up all the bits. Okay, so it's in my bits pile. It's not in my closet. Okay, bits. Dark brown or black. I mean, nothing says I have to sew it on if I don't like it. I'm gonna make the black beak, and then if I don't like the way it looks, I'll come back and I'll make it out of dark brown. Do I have any smaller black? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna use that black remnant bit. It's smaller, and I'm gonna chop out some big chunks of it. Beak go. Which way is down? Down is this direction. The beak goes that direction. Where is my silver Sharpie? I have to get a new one finally. I was sad. My other ones were finally dead. I know, your arm's falling off. Okay. And I leave a bunch of space around the little beak that I traced because I'm actually going to sew right on those lines. And it goes down that direction. There we go. And that in place just a little bit so it doesn't go everywhere. And now I get to sew it together. Which I wish your camera would be working. You good? Hi. I'm going to need my black thread. Oh, that bobbin is very low. Okay, well, I'm going to probably use up the rest of that bobbin. Let's see if I can get to the end of the beak before I run out. Oh, Panda, if you do go to Joann's and you find the giant spools of Gutermann thread, like the, what is this, 100-meter polyester thread on the white plastic, if you find any of those, let me know. Because all of my local Joann's are out of the Gutermann sewing thread. They only have the embroidery thread left. And I really like the Gutermann sewing thread. Especially the big 1,000-meter rolls of it. Rolls, spools, whatever. Okay, sewing. Go to sewing. We're going to change your speed to medium. Good there. We're going super short. I'm just following the line. No, okay, it's telling me I'm low on bobbin thread. It's fine, we're mostly at the end. We're good. We got this. Yes. How little thread do you have? You have no thread left. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Right to the end of the bobbin. Did you get anything else stuck in there? No, you were just very good. We just completely ran out. Nice. Fantastic. I will have to make more black bobbin thread. If I'm going to be sewing the next black thing. Gutermann thread, the big spool. If you find the big giant spools that look like this, the 1,000-meter kind in on the white plastic. The sewing thread, not the embroidery, not the quilting, is just general purpose sewing on the white plastic. If you find their big, giant, chunky ones, let me know what colors they have because I really like these big, chunky ones. Please. Yeah, keep the mute. I mean, if you didn't respond, I was just going to text you later on. So you're allowed to mute me. That is agreeable. Where'd my tiny snips go? I took them with me yesterday. Okay, there we go. Just want to get rid of a couple of these edges here. Get nice and small. I need to find a different playlist. This is like put me to sleep sort of music. This is not D&D adventure music. This playlist is lies. Okay, tiny bit of stuffing. Let me pop. I don't know how D this is gonna be, but this is the actual Honor Among Thieves playlist. We're gonna try that. See if that's more D&D-ish. Okay, face. You got plastic in your toes. You do have plastic in your toe beans. You've lied to me. How did I miss that? Where did you get that from? Okay, thank you. The rest of your toes good? Yeah, okay, the rest of your toes are good. You're one stupid toe full of plastic. Okay, beak time. Where'd your beak go? Oh, I need black thread for that. I have my little guys now. Needle. Oh my gosh. Oh, back to there. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of cinch the beak closed and then pin it in place on the face. think I like the black. It's not super, super dark. Doesn't stand out terribly. Well, I mean, he's all super, super dark. It's not super, super dark in comparison to the rest of him. Like, I feel like putting the black one on this one, that would have just been way too dark of a color. Like, that would not have been good. Um, Same with this little guy. I don't think a black nose on this would have looked good. But I think the black on him, it doesn't super stand out, so I think that one's gonna be good. Oop. Line you up right there. Right there. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Okay. Well, would work better if I line it up straight, but that's cool too. She can have a wonky nose if she wants. Back on the look cool. Okay, now I can take the pin out. First half is pinned down. Okay, peaks on. Just tie that knot. And then I'm going to do some thread sculpting for the face. And for that, I'm going to need a much larger needle. Dangerous needle. Come on. Oh, I am just having an off day. Okay. Thread sculpting, giant ass needle. I'm going to need more thread than that. Need to go between the eyes and to the back of the head, and then double that, and room to top. Okay. More danger music. Okay, so I am going to go from the back of the head through that fabric to the inside corner of this eyeball, or to wherever the nail first comes out. Where are you? Bottom of the eyeball? Ah, inside corner of the eyeball. Yes, I'm good. Light stab while I remove the extra trails of thread. We don't need that much. You need to leave a tail on the other side so that I can pull it. And then from here, I'm going to go back into the eyeball and come out on the inside of this eyeball. There we go. And I'm going to go back. Ah, because I really want to be able to pull these two eyeballs together. Need that pinchy face look. And I'm going to go back to the back of the head. Nope. 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 Maybe? Almost? Yes. Okay. And we're going to just give him a little pull. And there we go. So now his eyes are kind of inset, and this is the mom. This is Mommy Bear. She's got the little ridge there. Ooh, I might actually want to put a little bit more stuffing in there. Okay, so before I sew her head on, I'm going to shove a little bit more stuffing right in between her eyes. But she's got that little pinch face look going on so that she's got that ridge of feathers in between her eyes. And now I can tie a knot in the back. And trim away that extra thread. Let's just do. Yeah, I'm going to shove just a little bit more stuffing right here into her face just to make sure that that ridge stays nice and defined. I'm going to just go up the inside of her. Come on. Ah! Just drop a little bit of stuffing in there. Yeah, there we go. Now she's got a nice defined nose ridge there. Her eyes are right there. Perfect. So now her eyes are just inset on her face instead of being fully rounded. She's got a little bit of that sculpted face look to her. So she's owly now. She's still very naked. She doesn't have any of her bits. But that's okay. I'm going to do the sculpting on her toes next. That way, in case I need to stuff more stuffing in, I haven't like sewn her neck together. You can just sit right there. I don't want to use my black thread. I want to use brown thread because these threads are visible. These ones stay on her feet. Yeah, adding that little ridge in, like, it's not a big detail, but it takes her face from being like lumpy wonky to actually being owly, just giving her that little bit of a face shape. It's a nice little thing to do. Same with she's gonna have actual toes on her paws. The little guy is not gonna have toes. I did try putting toes on one of the paws, and it just didn't look quite right. Um, they didn't work on the tiny little feet, I think. But the big feet do work with paws. So I'm gonna just do that on the big guy. She gets her toes. Boop. And then where's my green cross? There it is. There. Needle. Come on. Come on. Come on. Thread, you're better than this. And then I can go after my green cross and remove that thread. I'm going to go over to the other one. And then back to the beginning. Put those threads where they're supposed to be. That little pull. Good. Give that one a little pull. Yes. Come on. And knock you back down. You need to lay down. Come on. I need the threads to kind of lay where they're going to. Then I can pull them tight. There. Yeah, I think those toes look good. Except for that one's a little off-centered, so let's fix that one up. Okay, there we go. Just adds a little bit of something to it. That's just got a little bit of toe bump there. I like that. Toe bump, of course, is an official term. And I think that foot's good. I don't think I have to add any extra stuffing or anything to it. That looks real nice. I'm going to go on to the other foot. And I start in the middle. Go to the top of that first toe. Back to the beginning toe. The X. Ah, missed the X entirely. Wasn't even close there. one should be centered. Yes, you should. Whoa, don't fall over. I know you don't have your front legs to balance, but don't fall. Do that X. Pull both of those X's out. Oop. Oop. Don't fall. Okay, fine. Lay down. Lay down. And then this toe back to where we began. And I can tie that off or just drop the thread entirely. That works too. We don't need knots. And trim. Ah, don't fall. I'm going to cut your leg. Okay. Woo, don't fall. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. We got some little toe beans. Gonna put her head on now. Which I have a piece of black thread, so I'm gonna just start with the black. It will probably run out before I go all the way around, so I can just swap to a new color. But these stitches you should never actually see, so it should be fine. And I'm going to start in the center of her face because this is the most important part that I want to be lined up. If something is going to be slightly off, I want it to be in the back where nobody sees it. And this hand sewing, I'm now at an hour 18. Ooh. I'm still aiming for 2 hours. We're going to still hope that that's about my estimate. More danger music. Okay, 1/4 done. Because I really don't want this head to fall off, I am going to tie a knot right here and then continue on. When I have large bits like heads and things to attach, uh, I will tie it every so often. That way, in case the thread breaks, I don't have to go back to the beginning and start sewing it again. I can just continue on from that last knot. Also, that way, when whoever gets the plushie has the plushie, if you're roughhousing or whatever, pulling heads off, it's a little bit harder to make the head fall off because everything is just kind of sewn in place, like knotted in multiple places. Less of a catastrophic failure if something goes wrong. Yeah, dog toys. I actually had somebody, he never came back, but I had somebody at a craft fair I was in, who very much asked me if I made, like, toys for dogs, and I was like, "For the prices I'm making them, you can give them to a dog, but I wouldn't recommend it." And he's like, "No, I understand the price. Like that's fine. Like I'm looking to spend like $100+ on this." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm intrigued." He wanted a toy, like, Amtrak train for his dog because his dog is like absolutely just enthralled with the concept of trains, I guess. And he was trying to find a plushy train for this dog. And I was like, I will make your dog a train. And he's like, fantastic. I will get back to you on that. And like, I got to meet the dog, and the dog was precious. The doggo was a golden retriever. So kind of makes sense with the whole, like, if there's going to be a dog obsessed with trains, I feel like it would probably be a golden retriever. Um, but he was like, yeah, here's a picture of my dog with a train. Like, just just crazy. Like, this dog did really like trains, was just going ape shit over like seeing a train on the platform. Um, so he never got back to me, but it was like, that is something I would absolutely love to make. I will make a train for a dog. I'm kind of sad about that. Yep, see there, my thread broke, but now I don't have to go all the way back around. I'll just go back to where it was. Also, stupid thread. Why? I had gotten to the point of tying the next knot. That is like the worst place to break. Rude. Yes, they do. They take out stuffy toys. So like that would be a very, very expensive chew toy. But like he's like, yeah, I don't care how much I have to pay. I want to get my dog a stuffed animal train. And like he's the one who mentioned how much he was willing to spend on it. And it was like, okay, so he knows like what he's asking for. Because a lot of the requests I field are a lot of the um I want to buy a custom stuffed animal. I have $10 to spend. And I'm like, okay, you get like 5 minutes of work time at that point. That is not enough money for me to even cut out your fabric, unfortunately. But this guy was like, no, no, I'm willing to go like $100 for this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So he knew what he wanted. He just never got back to me. I wonder if there was somebody else in his life who was like, dude, this is a dumb decision. Don't do that. And he was like, ah, yeah, you're right. But like he was ready for it. I was ready for it. The dog was ready for it. I don't remember the dog's name, but like it was a very cute, very fluffy dog. I got to pet the dog. I got to pet the dog, the train dog. Okay, we're gonna try and not break the thread this time. Lionel, yes, that would be a good name. I don't remember the dog's name. It was probably Lionel. That just seems right. When you find out that your dog is obsessed with trains, you just have to rename him. We're not gonna break our thread now. We're gonna just tie a nice little knot, and then we're gonna continue on. Good. This is like the danger music. I guess that makes sense. There's a lot of danger music or danger bits in the movie. Better than falling asleep music, I think. At least today. I don't need any falling asleep music. I am already still tired. Boop. Ah, squish you flat. Get your leg out of the way. Leg out of the way, I said. Stop. Ah. Okay. Good. To completely manhandle the bear. Okay, head is 3/4 of the way on. Before I continue to that last quarter, I am going to stuff the final stuffing bits into the neck. So this gets tied off here. Gonna do one more knot. Oop, adds. Okay. I'm gonna use that. Get a drink then. And maybe open the window too. Ooh, it's too warm outside. Oh. Ugh. Ads be ending. Okay. So I've gotten to 3/4 away around the neck. Now I'm just going to continue stuffing the neck before I sew the rest of the head on. And that's just so that the stuffing doesn't like pop out of the head and neck when they're unattached. There we go. Little bit of extra stuffing there. I think it might actually be over 2 hours. Ah, an hour and a half now, and I still have all the bits to attach. Okay, but her head is on now. I can tie that off. Fix that. Go, and I'm going to get myself a little bit through the face there. Bury the thread inside. There we go. Her head to be on. She's beginning to look like an owl bear. Woo! Or this is a scale mate. This is a Homestuck scale mate right now. Okay. I'm going to do her neck ruff next because I really like that. And just a fun little thing about the ruff, how I decided to sew it on, like on this little baby. Uh, it rotates. You can actually rotate the entire neck ruff around the owl bear. I guess if you wanted the ruff to be more like a little scout bandana, you could do that. Um, but I just kind of stitched it together in a loop and it stays on because it's smaller than the head. So I'm going to do the same thing here, close that up, and then just sew a loop around. Oh no, look at this, I misjudged. I'm going to have to really pull that tight then. There we go, it'll be fine. Okay, and I will have to make note for the next owl bear that I make. I need to make that a little bit wider. I'll probably take it from 150 up to 175 then. Yeah, that's a little tight there. This one will be hard to rotate. Ooh, actually, I should put the legs on first before the ruff. Okay, so I should just pin the ruff in place and then sew the legs on and then the ruff over top of that. That way I don't have to fight the ruff while I am sewing the legs on. Yeah, that's the better decision. That's the smart choice. Okay. So I'm going to just close this up real quick. Doesn't take a lot of stitches. Actually, no, I'm even going to take a little bit of the stuffing out, make it a little bit flatter so it will go around the neck a little bit easier. Yeah. I can just redistribute what's left in there. Spread it out a little bit. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Little ruff just stitched back together. I'm going to tie a knot there. And then I'm going to just pin this in place so I can put the legs on. Oh my gosh, knot, come on. Ah! Okay. Put that ruff down. Bring it to the back. Taking that little stuffing out did make it a little bit easier, so that was a good decision. Go. And then it's just those two there. That's where they're going to connect. Oop, oop. Okay. Yep, so you just got the little pins in, holding it in place. That way I know where the ruff is going to go, and I can tuck the legs underneath it because the legs are just sewn to the body underneath that ruff. So, oh, I need to sew the backs of the legs. Forgot to do that. Okay. Stitching them up first. That's probably not enough thread. Okay. I'm going to toss that back in the bin. And just close up the back of this leg. Okay. Danger music. Stab the bear. I'm going to sew up the back of both legs before I attach either leg, because I need to sew them both on at the same time to make sure that they are centered and also touching the ground, because I don't want her to like lean forward. I want her to sit straight. So I need a combination of centering both legs and also then putting them on her belly so that she stays sitting up. If I do end up making more of these owl bears, what I will actually end up doing different is, instead of hand sewing the legs on afterwards, I will actually slice her belly in half, like right underneath that ruff, and then sew the belly back together. So I'll have like a top half of the belly and the bottom half of the belly just sliced horizontally straight across them. And I will actually put the top edge of the feet into that cut. So that when I sew the top and bottom of the belly back together, the legs are actually sewn into it as well. That way they will just be like machines stuck onto the body. And one less thing to hand sew in place and try and manually gauge every single time to make sure they're in the right spot. It has to be in the right spot because there's only one slice through the belly. But that will be predicated on the idea that people are actually buying these giant owlbears and everything. I don't know how many I'm going to sell. I'm kind of honestly hoping I don't sell this one because I've got the two small ones, and like the big one's supposed to be like, look at how great it is. Oh, you can't afford it, buy the little one instead. Um, or you can't afford these guys, like buy a gelatinous cube. Which I am waffling over whether or not I want to have them priced at 25 or 30. Because like the minimum that I have to sell them is 25 if I want to pay myself a living wage. I have to price them at least at 25. But I'm not sure if I want to like up the price to 30. So what I might end up doing is something like my blue gelatinous cubes are 25 and the green ones are 30 just because I don't have much more of that green fabric. That's something I have to actually buy online. Okay, so that's about where those legs need to be. Pin them in place. Oh, I also went and while I was not streaming, I made strawberry jelly cubes. So I now have some strawberry cubes as well as the blue and green classic flavored jelly cubes. I should go grab some of them and have them sit on the table. This could be a full D&D type stream today. Okay, those legs look good. She's sitting up straight. She's looking good there. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to unpin her ruff. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Brink. Unpinned her ruff. Pause for a second, and I'm going to go find my gelatinous cubes just so I can put them on the table and it looks cool. I didn't need that brown fabric, so I can get rid of that. There we go. There's my gelatinous cubes. I'm very pleased with how the strawberry gelatinous cube turned out. It's got little strawberries on it, and it's a little hard to see on camera where all of these little lines are. That too bright. I do this. Not really. Well, they've got little like goo lines in as well. So it looks better in person. I'll have to take better pictures before I put these guys up online. But I've got little strawberries in it, and then little strawberry flowers throughout, and it's just super squishy like the blue cube. So it's just kind of fun, and it's very pink. So that's my strawberry gelatinous cube. Let me pick one with the strawberry up top. Yeah. Look got some gelatinous cubes there. Okay. Mama Owlbear has lost her ruff. She looks very naked now. Gonna be okay. I need there we go, needle with thread so that I can sew her arms in place. And then I will put her ruff on after the arms. The little tufts that go on her arms, I'll put them on at the very end, along with the ears. I'll probably put her tail on before the ruffs, just because her tail is kind of big and I like it, and I want to sew it in place. I have to decide for the tail. So the ruff is single-sided because no one's ever going to see the back of it. There's no embroidery on the back. Oops, I need to turn my timer back on. The little arm puffs are single-sided because you probably won't be seeing the back that much. The ears are double-sided. There is the embroidery on both sides, but the tail is only single-sided. So I have to decide which side I want to be more visible or which one I want to be like up against her body. So I'm going to just kind of pin them in place and play around with it, see which way I like more. When I was originally designing it, I was going to have the embroidery side facing her body, so you see it around her side when you're looking at her from the front. But then most of that tail is going to end up stitched in place to her body, so you might not see as much. So if I flip it around and have it on the back, so that you see the embroidery when looking at her backside, her butt side, then you'd be able to see more of that embroidery bit. So I have to kind of make that decision. Please stay put. Don't go running off. You don't need to fall off the table. You're good where you are. Okay, one arm on. Your little armies. Gonna need a new piece of thread. That one is way too short to do anything with. Arm. Arm. Thank you for arm. Okay, that is the top of the arm. Now I go underneath and go back to the beginning. Face. Ah, thread. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to redo that part because the thread snapped. What is up with my thread today? This is just not a good day for working, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the other side of the arm and let's fix that where the thread broke. I want that little knot hidden. There we go. Yeah, go inside there. Tying a knot there. Both the legs are now on. Woohoo! Bury that thread. Oof, and that is an hour 50. Okay, I'm gonna have to revise this. Maybe it'll be 2.5 hours. Also, I need a little bit of airflow, so that second window needs to be opened. Ugh, a little bit warm. Okay, arms on, ruff on. We're gonna hope my thread doesn't break yet again. needle. God, today's just not a good day for working. Okay, there we go. Ah, the ruff is just about done. I just want to really make sure that this is tied on, because the only thing that's really holding it together is about 6 stitches. I really don't want them to come apart. One more knot. Okay, and then bury the thread. There's not much to bury it in because the ruff is so small. There we go. Owlbear plus ruff, which I will make bigger next time just so it's easier to stitch around. But she's got her little ruff on. Looking very fancy. I want to do the tail next. So essentially, let me pin this down. Edge. There we go. Edge, that and that. Right there. I went along the edge. Okay, so if I put the tail on in this direction, Yeah, when I sew that to the body, most of that embroidery is going to be hidden. So I don't know if I like that as much. I think I'm gonna flip it around so that you can see the embroidery on the back side of the tail there. Let's see. Move that pin. Come on. Give me. And then this tail is essentially gonna come right up to here, pinned in place. Yeah, I think I like that better. You're gonna be able to see a lot more of like the decorative bits of the tail on the back versus right here where a lot of that's gonna just be hidden because I went and I sewed up like the back of the body there. So I'm gonna have the embroidery visible on the butt rather than the back. Yeah. And that one might actually need a little bit more stuffing in it. I'm going to stitch down that bottom section first, and then we're going to figure out what kind of stuffing it needs before I go along the top edge. But we are at 2 hours, and I still have the tail, both the ears and the arms to do. So I'm definitely not going to finish in just 2 hours. My estimation was low. Where's the center? I'm actually going to point that the other direction. Okay. So that's the center point that I have to match right there. Owlbear is going to stand on her head for a moment. Oops, don't do that. I just want to make sure that the center of the tail ends up at the center of the body as well. Ah, stab. That was a big stab. Fixed. Okay, there's my center point. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to take the pins out of the top. Because I want this. The embroidery bit needs to go to right about here. Yeah, right on that point. And just kind of have to hold them together where they're supposed to be and then stitch them equally. Oh, that stab actually drew a tiny drop of blood. Well, that's fun. That was a really good stab. I'm going to tie a knot right here. Because that is the bottom of the tail, and then I will get a second piece of thread for the top of the tail. This one's not long enough to go all the way around, so I'm going to just end one side of the tail rather than like trying to go halfway around the top. And I can bury that thread. And yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of extra stuffing in that tail. And just kind of balance on your toes for me, please. One last little bit over here. Yeah, I like that. I think that works. That's a good amount of fluffing for it. And then I'm going to pin in place just at the top and then halfway down on each side so I know about where they should be connecting. There we go. I think this tail goes up a little bit more. Maybe I'll pull it up a little bit more as I'm stitching, but I think that's a pretty good look right there. Got a nice butt. Yeah. And need more thread. Then move the ears out of the way. They can go back there. I don't think I need any more of that stuffing. Okay. More thread. So it's probably going to be slightly over 2.5 hours to get this owl barrel hand sewn together. Okay, caught on your foot. Whoosh wind. I think that looks pretty good how that's attached. That's good. Okay. The tail part here is kind of just vibes on how best it attaches. If I wanted to have like an actual, like the same curve every single time, I would have to cut an arc out of the top fabric here. But again, because I did not know which side I really wanted to be facing the body or facing the butt, I didn't want to cut an arc out of one of the sides and then be like, "Ah, yes, that's the one I have to use against the body." Um, Now that I know which one looks better, though, if these guys end up selling and I end up making a lot more, then I will change that part of the pattern as well so that it uh, has that specific arc so that they'll all be more or less the same. There we go. Okay. There we go. She sits. I'm going to do the ears next. And I have to be careful with this ear because it kind of pulled away. I think I'm going to try and fix that fabric first. Ugh. Not much I can do there. Oof. Okay. Back down to there. This one is going to go on this side of the face so that I can kind of hide that little fabric issue. So it will end up behind the ear in the back there at the bottom. Hopefully not visible when I fold the little bit of the ear under. That's going to be the goal. Ah, don't stab. I already got a good stab. I don't need another good stab. Oops. Okay, so I went a little bit over on that top part. I'll just have to remember to line up the other ear a little over the top part. I'll actually start at the top of the next ear to make sure that I get them both lined up. This one I did want to start at the bottom just so I can try and hide that little fabric flip up, which should be hidden. Should be good. Ah, no stabs. That's one ear. Yay! 17. 2 hours, 17 minutes. So there's a little tiny spot right here, little tiny brown spot, little triangle there that doesn't have the inside ear color on it. but because it's up against the fur, it's pretty well hidden. So it should be okay. Unless you really know what you're looking for, it's not going to be super visible. You can't see it really until you pull this up and out of the way. So if you're inspecting for issues, that's where it is. But you can't see it until you pull it up and out of the way. I'm okay with that. That's not the ear one. Okay, here's the ear one. Her ears are a little higher up her head than I meant them to be. Oops. But it's gonna be okay as long as they're both even. That's gonna be the important part. Yep, okay. Wouldn't know it's there if you don't say anything. Yeah, exactly. It's very, very small, but like because again, I have just spent 2 hours and 19 minutes today staring at this guy very, very closely. I know exactly where all of her errors are. So I can see them and I know where they are. But unless you're like actively looking for them, it's not going to be noticeable, which is why I didn't go and remake the entire ear. I'm going to just let that little tiny error stand. Also, this is not going to be enough thread. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to have to get a new piece of thread here. I'm going to just tie this off right here. There we go. Nice long piece of thread now. Ah, this might be enough to go around the 3 remaining bits I have to sew on, the ear and the 2 leggy bits. Let's flip you back around so I can hold your ear. Ah! Just throwing my thread on me, thank you. I definitely want that going skittering towards the ground. Uh, People keep sending me messages on Discord. I'm ignoring them for now. It's a conversation for after work. Here, sit on a cube for me. Ad break. Oh no. Ah, yes. Almost done. Here we go. She is mostly sewn together. I'm just finishing up this ear. And then I've got the two little arm fluffs to put on her. And then Mom Owl Bear is done. So I'm keep having to change my time. I have to keep changing the time that I'm estimating. I thought it was going to be about 2 hours of working on her doing all the hand sewing today. It's about 2.5 now. I thought I'd be done at that point. Now it's going to be a little bit more than 2.5. But she is almost done. I will have her done before 3 hours, I think. What is this music? We're not doing. Okay, let's go back to something. Let's do this. Okay, we're gonna go back to the sleepy, not really D&D music because I don't like whatever was just playing. That was words. I'm the only one allowed to make words on this stream. Okay, the ear is just done. It just needs to be tied off. Whew. My goal today is to get the two owl bears done. And then I have to go find my list of things I need to get done before the craft or the convention on the 13th. I have a bunch of cats I know I need to make. So I'm gonna just kind of throw them into the embroidery machine and have them embroidering up. I think I need to make 2 more of my Legend of Zelda pigs. And I don't remember what else, so I have to go find my list. I didn't store it in my memory because I stored it on a notepad memory. Okay, she is ear done. Just the leg bits left. Whew. Yes, you can send Panda the Discord. Did it not work? Hmm. I thought I had fixed it, but if not, yes. You can send Panda the Discord invite there. That should be fine. I did fix it, I think. Yes, okay. You are there. Where should these go? So on the baby, they are right up against the foot right there. I could put them higher, like elbow. Yeah, does she want to have like hairy elbows, I guess? No, I'm gonna put him down at the bottom just like the other little guy. Ooh. Okay, just lay down. You're good. Be comfy. Okay, yes. Discord link is fixed. The only real thing that I do in the Discord right now is I have the automatic little bot set up to tell people when I'm starting to stream because I am very bad at putting it on social media or anywhere else. Um, so if I can automate it, that would be best. If I can figure out how to automate it for social media, that would be fantastic. I think that's going to be where the little fuzzy bits go. I'll need to tuck them in further because that's not very well tucked. It's supposed to be folded in a 1/4 inch all the way around. Okay, try that. I might just stitch this together because it's just. I'm going to stitch this together and then stitch it to the leg. Adds a little bit more time, but I think it'll reduce the frustration factor of it. So you just sit here. Here, you can lay on top of the gelatinous cubes. So you can stare at the camera. Looking good? Fantastic. I am going to just connect your ears. Or your not your ears, your leg ears. You can get emails from Twitch when people are streaming? I didn't know that was possible. I probably turned them off immediately upon creating my Twitch account because I don't like getting emails because then I have to read the emails. But that's really cool. I just have a knee jerk reaction to whenever they're like, "Can I send you an email?" My answer is no. No, you cannot. Stop it. Yeah, that's going to be a lot easier to sew in place. I think right there is good. Yeah, this little one, it's like right on the bottom of the leg, right where the paw pad starts. I think I'm going to do the same thing there. It'll be right where that paw pad starts. Yeah. A little bit up actually on this one. Okay, lay down on your side, please. Oops, yellow pin. You don't need to be anywhere out there. Ow, stab. Oh no, that is so many unread emails. If I have like 5 or 6 unread, I start to get antsy about it. I don't think I could go to 800 or 14,000. Definitely not 14,000. Holy shit. I couldn't do that. I also like actually delete things, not just archive them. I have the issue of like if I don't pay attention to things and like take care of them and they start to pile up, I ignore them all. So as soon as something starts to be slightly overwhelming, I lose everything. So if I don't read my emails and then get rid of them right away, I will just stop reading all of them, including the important ones that come in. I also have multiple email accounts. Like I've got I used to try and do on Gmail where like I had different folders and things would go into the folders, but as soon as they went to a folder, they ceased to exist for me. Like out of sight, out of mind, they're gone. So I have it set up that I have like 4 or 5 different emails and they're used for different things. So like the coupons and sales and shit, um I have that go to one email account. When you have to sign up for a website because they won't let you use it without having an account, I have a specific email for that. So like all your shit's just going to be like quarantined where I don't have to look at it. Um if it's like things I am buying, I have an email specifically for that, like for the receipts and the shipping notifications and everything that goes another place. Yeah, Twitter just for content. Yeah, basically. So I have to keep everything very, very organized or like I fail. So it's forced uh forced organization if I want to be a in any way, shape, or form functioning adult. See, I made a Blue Sky account, but I also never really used Twitter, so I'm not really using Blue Sky. And I was like, ah, right, yeah, like why did I bother with this? I need to get better at social media, but there's just so many of them, and I need to have like an automated like reminder system of like, hey, post something today. Um, because mainly what I use social media for is showing off my plushies and shit. I don't really do a lot of like personal type posting stuff, except for like on Tumblr. I use Tumblr as my like social media time wasting, infinite scrolling place. And that I don't have to create shit. I can just very easily share shit that other people have already created and just like hit the reblog button and you're good. I do have a sister moose who could text me to post something. And if you did that, there is maybe a chance that I actually do it. See, the problem is I actually have to have something ready to post first, which means I actually have to like edit my photos and like crop them down and get them ready to post. And in order to have like photos that are edited, I have to take the photos. Like I actually have to take the picture and then have that to edit, have that to post. It's terrible. There's so many little steps involved. Yeah. I also don't do like TikTok or Reels or anything because I know I have the personality of if I start watching something uh like Reels or TikTok or anything that's like just moving and short and it goes on to the next one for me, I will lose hours. So I have very like just on purpose kept myself away from Reels as much as I can, which sucks because that's also what you're supposed to be posting for like getting people to see the things you make. Like I should be on TikTok, I should be posting reels, and I don't because I have the kind of personality that I can't do that. Like I'm not responsible enough to pay attention to the passage of time, I guess. Like I know how my brain works and I'm actively fighting against it. Whew. Yeah, okay, but see, the thing about having a screen timer is that I am also the adult who can, like, bypass that. So, I'm not if I get sucked into, like, just scrolling endlessly, I am motivated enough to keep doing it, but not motivated enough to stop doing it. So Tumblr is really like my site of choice just because it still gives me that endless scrolling thing where I can just scroll down my dashboard forever. Well, not forever. And that's like why I like it. Because I've picked very specific people, like I've curated who I'm following that have like very consistent things they post about. So I know pretty much what I'm gonna see. Like I follow like the foxes and kitty cute accounts and people who write fun shit about video games and everything. So I can see the things I want to see, but I don't see the things like about politics or like crazy bullshit or the bad wife bullshit that keeps getting recommended to me on my TikTok account for whatever reason. Um Probably because I like traditional fun crafts and shit, but it's not fun. I hate my algorithm on TikTok. Um I just yeah, I stay away from that. But because it's just the people I've followed and it's not like curated for you. Eventually, I get to the end of things that I have seen before. Like, there's only so many people that I follow, and they only post so much. So I can scroll endlessly until I get to the stuff that was posted like yesterday or the last time I was scrolling, and then it's like, oh, okay, time to get off because there's nothing new for me to see here. And that's really good because then I get my endless scrolling fix and I only see the things I want to see. I don't see the weird like algorithm recommends for you. And also there's a built-in cutoff at a certain point. So Tumblr is my choice of endless scrolling, time wasting. All my other social media accounts are basically just uh, meant for me to be posting my plushies, and sometimes I actually do. I'm actually planning on posting today. I have to post 2 Valentine's Day plushies I made on Instagram. So I'm only a couple months late, but I'm gonna get them up today so that I have 3 little Valentine's ones because they've got the nice little grid on your Instagram page. So I like trying to keep them like 3 of the same post kind of thing. So I'll have 3 pink ones, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna put my gelatinous cubes, so I'll have the 3 of them across the top of my profile there as well. So I'm going to be posting twice today. Oh, I have Facebook, but I don't really. I only visit Facebook when I want to harm myself by looking at what uh, family members and other people in real life that I know are posting, like what their political posts are about, like just self harm. Want to see what shitty ass things I'm going to be feeling today. Um, but I have also installed enough little add-ons to Firefox so that 90% of my Facebook feed is just white boxes. And it's like, oh no, this is just like groups you should join, blocked. So scrolling through my dashboard is, or the news feed, whatever you call the front page of Facebook, scrolling through that is mostly just scrolling through white boxes and not actually seeing anything that's posted. So that's really great. That's how I want to use Facebook if I have to use Facebook. Oh, see, yeah, get somebody else to hold the passcode for you. See, but I wouldn't do that because then I'd get angry at my phone and I'd have to like find somewhere else to scroll. I'm motivated enough to just keep wasting time. I'm not motivated enough to go find to do something else. So I really have to like not waste time in the first place. Me and my brain, we are enemies. And right now, I am winning by not starting a fight. The owl bear mom is done now. Woo! So I'm going to put that time in. That is another 2 hours and 41 minutes and also 41 seconds. I'm not going to include those, but that's really cool. 41, 41. I am going to include that in my little spreadsheet. And I need to weigh her and figure out what she is. Okay. So add in time. That was 2 hours and 41 minutes. So that is just over 7 hours that it took me to sew her up. So she's gonna be a very expensive owl bear. Dang. She's a big one. The Cult of the Lamb lambs that I make take me about 7 hours as well. So, ooh, she's gonna be right around there. Okay, yep, we're not gonna talk about her weight, but we are still going to weigh her. I need something for you to sit on because you're not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to milliliters. I don't need milliliters or fluid ounces. You have to be pound and ounces. Nope. Okay. Zero you out. How much do you weigh? Ah, nope. Okay. Come on. We need you to just sit. Can you just sit for me? No? Can you sit like this? I need to be able to read it. Ah, perfect. You are 1 pound, 3.5 ounces. You're a big girl. Okay, so let me add that in. What did I say you were? You are 1 pound, 4-ish ounces, so 20 silky fill in you. Did I mute myself? I did mute myself. Boo. Okay. Well, anyways, I don't know where I muted myself. Before I start on the little white owl bear, I think I'm going to go refill my tea, and then after that, I will work on the little owl bear. Hopefully, that won't take me 2 hours and 41 minutes and 41 seconds. It is much smaller. It doesn't have any of the needle sculpting or anything like that. A lot easier to stuff. So that one will hopefully not take me that long. After that, I might just be done with streaming today. I am still very exhausted. Coming back from D&D at 1 a.m. was probably not a great idea to then like jump up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start work at 7 the next morning. So I'll at least finish the owl bears, both of them, so they are done. And then I might just go and sit on the couch and watch other people stream while I finish sewing together the little stuffing holes of the gelatinous cubes that I've made. Um, yes. Tomorrow is being an adult and doing taxes day, so I will not be streaming there, but I will maybe be streaming on Sunday just because I've got a bunch of stuff to do in the next week. And so I will probably be working on Sunday anyways. I will probably stream then as well. So I'm going to run ads right now. I know it's only been like a half hour since the last ones were, but I'm going to run ads so that I can go and grab a drink, and I will be back in 3-minute ad break. I will be back in 3 minutes. Yeah, it's a very rare Moose Weekend stream. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Sunday. No promises, but fingers crossed. I'll be here on Sunday to actually stream as well. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make, but I've got a bunch of options. Okay, I'll be right back. Bye. I return. Okay. Took me a little bit longer because the bunny rabbit wanted some salad, so I went and got him lunch and then at his face while he tried to eat salad and get away from me. I bothered the rabbit bunnies. Okay. Timer time. I'm starting with the little guy now. Ugh. The stuffins. Because I'm not doing any thread sculpting, doesn't really matter which ones I'm gonna start stuffing, so I'm gonna just go with the face. Just putting a couple big pieces in there. Go. And then, now that I have all the soft stuff in, I make a hole in the center and I shove all of the hard packed stuff in the middle. There's the face. Yeah, and just like the reason I do the thread sculpting, like face to face, one of these guys is a lot more bug eyed. He has seen some shit than the other. So just add a little bit there. I'm really looking forward to see how the snowy guy turns out. Okay, he's there. These are the ears. These are the arms. Little tail in the rough. The arms, the little tiny snoot. Get some stuffing into that foot. Mush, mush, mush. And into the leg. Mush, mush. A black spot on your butt? What's going on there? You just have a little dark spot right there on your butt? Why? It's just the way the fabric folds. I will sog you up after that. Okay. If ever giving you a dark spot on your butt, we'll just get you wet and clean that off afterwards. Because I really do want to get you all stitched up today. So I can move on to some other things. Stuffing in the body. And push all that soft stuff to the sides so I can pack more into the middle. And again, I will put more in the neck right before I finish sewing the two of them together. I like that little guy. Ugh. I don't need that much stuffing. This is probably good for now. Tiny little legs, don't need much. I was contemplating for making a snowy owl doing the little black spots that they have in their wings. But that would either be I have to find a minky fabric that has those spots, or I would need to embroider every single one of those spots in. And if I thought the mom owl bear took a long time to embroider, those spots would be just hell. That would be so much time spent just putting all those little spots in there, both designing it and then stitching it out. I don't think I would sell any of them. So as much as they'd be cute and I would like them, I'm going for the simplistic design rather than the realistic, just so that there is a possibility that people can afford them. This bear here is already going to be like my showpiece bear that I probably am not going to sell. Uh, I don't need more of them. Fabric marker and paint, not really. I've done that before, but that was a while ago. And like now that I can do the embroidery and everything, it ends up looking less professional to me. And I'm not happy with that. And I really do like being happy with my work. Like I like making things as high quality as possible just because it makes me feel good as well as the people who get the things. And so just drawing the spots on, like it's doable, but it wouldn't look right to me. It wouldn't make me happy with it. Also, fabric paint doesn't really work on Minky. Fabric markers do. The other option would be me investing in a sublimation printer so that I can actually like infuse dyes into fabric. But I haven't had a reason to do that yet. That's one of those things where it's like, I'd like to do that. I have all the information on how to do that. It's just the cost investment of actually getting a printer and the sublimation ink and the heat press that you need for it, which I cannot justify the price right now because I don't need it. It would be a want at best. But that would allow me to like actually print onto the fabric essentially, like print dye onto the fabric. Okay, those arms be stuffed. And I do little tiny bits in the feather tuft. Okay, I think it was what, like close to an hour on stuffing just the bear, the mom bear, having to do all the little thread sculpting and the stuffing of her. I think that was close to an hour of the hour 41 that it took. I'm about 7, 8 minutes in to stuffing the snowy baby, and I'm mostly done. There's the tail. I overstuffed the tail, I think. I might end up taking some out, but I did add more to the mom's tail. So I kind of added I like pre-added more to the baby tail. And the ruff. No, I didn't get quite enough of the stuffing. I have to go get slightly more. So I buy polyfill in like those 20-pound giant boxes, basically the size of my table here, um, in all 3 dimensions. And of my current open box, I have this much stuffing left. This is it. This is like, I don't want to open up the next box because it's so full, it's already like ripping the box apart as the stuff expands. So this will not fit in there. But also, I have a giant 20-pound box for this much stuffing, and that's very annoying. I was kind of hoping that I would use it all up on the owl bears today. I did not. And I don't think I can overstuff them at all. Let me move some of that stuffing around just a little bit. Squish, 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 squish. Put my tiny little pile of stuffing back in my freaking giant box. Very annoying. Okay, that guy should be all stuffed. I might need a little bit more for his neck as I put him together, but like 12 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, that did not take me very long at all. White thread. I do not think this one's going to take me 2 hours and 41 minutes. Whew. I mean, unless I start tying knots in the thread before I even get on the needle, that could slow things down. Oh, I need to stuff the little beak. The beak. No, actually, I might put the beak on the face first. Okay, tiny puff of the stuffing. Itty bitty bit of stuffing. That was too much itty bitty bit. Okay, let's take some of that away. do that. Oh, oh, up. Okay, beak. Oh, I have to start at the top. Okay, well, that's fine. I should have started from the top to go to the bottom and then stick them on, but oh well. We'll start at the top. It'll be fine. Ah, body. Okay, we're gonna move you. Ah, let go of the thread. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's the owl's face without thread sculpting. He's just got a very, very round face. His eyes kind of stick out a little bit. He looks a little like a Muppet. So I'm gonna fix his face next. Pull his eyes back together, give him that nose ridge. Make him a proper owl, less of a Muppet owl. Bury the thread there. I don't think that thread's going to be long enough to do the thread sculpting on him, so I'm going to just tie that off. I'll use that to attach his head to his body. And I will get my doll needle. And I'll give that a nice long piece of thread too. Okay, there we go. That should be more than enough thread. And I'm doing this before I sew his head on so that I can add more stuffing if I need to. We're going to go through the back of his neck to the inside corner. Ah, come on. Inside corner of his eyeball. Assuming I can. Yes, there we go. Found it. Go. There we go. So from the back of his neck to the inside part of his eyeball. Leave myself a little tail hanging out the back. Then I'm going to go back in and out at the other eyeball. Whoops, a little bit too close. There. Good. Not around the beak. then back in at the eyeball and back out at the original eyeball. I'm just making like a zigzag of thread in between the two eyes. I'm going to go back to the second eye. And then I'm going to go back in and come out at the back of the neck. So I've made essentially like this triangle thread inside the owl. And then if I give both of these a little tug, that's going to just pull his eyes in and leave that little ridge right there. He does need a little bit more stuffing in there. So I will tie these off and I'll add that little bit of stuffing just to really solidify that ridge is still there. Oops, there we go. Red. Red be misbehaving. You good? You could actually probably use a little bit tighter of a pull there. No, you're good. Once I add that in, a little extra stuffing in there, you'll be fine. So I can trim off the extra there. Me my stuffing. I'm going to just slide that up the inside of his face. And put that stuffing right in the ridge. There we go. Now I've got the eyes just a slight bit inset and that little ridge right between the eyes. Give it a little bit more of that owl face. Okay. I'm going to put the head on the body next. I am 22 minutes into this and I'm already attaching the head. I was at least an hour in when I was attaching the head to the mama owl bear. There we go, centered that. Okay. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pin yellow pins. They don't bend. I'm going to pin the head and the body together at the seams. That just makes sure that the head isn't going to like twist and rotate sideways. Although with an owl, it might make sense to have its head rotated backwards. I don't know what kind of neck vertebra the owl bear has, but the owl part should be able to turn his head around. A needle. You got this. Oh my gosh. Okay. You good? Ah, stab. Okay, and I am the first quarter of the way around the head. So I am going to tie a little knot right there, just in case my thread breaks, because it's been a day for breaking thread. Okay, and I'm going to continue on around the head there. Yeah, I think after I finish this owlbear, I'm going to stop streaming for today. And I'm going to just go stay on the couch, be sleepy, and work on hand sewing some dudes together. Just the tiny final stitchings, closing up stitching holes and everything, or stuffing holes. Because I'm sleepy. And this guy is going to need a bath because he got something dark gray right here, right around his butt. And I don't know what it was. Not sure what he was touching. But he touched something dark gray. Another quarter of the way around, so I'm going to give that another knot. Ah. Okay, that's another quarter of the way around. I can remove that pin. I can tie the knot here, and then I am going to add a little bit more stuffing to the neck. Stab the needle right into his head. Our little dude. You're just so eminently stabbable. That's probably more than enough. Let's see. I'm going to do half that amount. And a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Put the rest of that. Okay. There we go. That is the head on the body. Woo! Gonna do the same thing that I did with the big one where I didn't sew this together, but I'm gonna put the ruff on and then pin it in place. So I know where to put the legs on the front. There's our little ruff. Gorgeous little guy. And then I need to close up the gap on the back of the arms. That is not enough thread for that. I'll get rid of that. Oh, this is probably a good amount of thread. I'll take that off my doll needle because I shouldn't need to thread sculpt anything more on this little guy. Face should be good. Not doing the paws. Oops, thread. Why are you looping around things? Uncool. There. Another reason to sew the little legs into the body would be this edge is kind of a little bit lumpy. I didn't do a great job sewing that top edge. It would be straight if I sewed it into the body there. So, ugh. There's one arm, one little army. Stop it. Come on, fabric. What? We're not talking songs. This is music only. Ah, this is like put me to sleep music. There's my two little arms. I'll put them on like that, I think. Tuck them up underneath. See, do you sit nice like that? Good? Good sittings? Good sits just like that. Grab a pin. Pin you in there and pin you in here. Pin you here. And here. There we go. That's good sitting. That is very good sitting. You are good sitting. Now I can take these pins out of the back of the ruff. Oop. And that's where the little arms go. Be on the lookout for texts in the next 1.5 hours. I will. Okay, thank you. I should be done with the owl by that point, so we'll all be good. Thank you. Bye.